Now we're recording.
So can I ask something?
Yeah.
So when you say, and I know me Big Boss Man's. You have the boss man.
Yep.
She is kind of like the boss lady.
Lady.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I wanted to, because my wife has been there. My
Absolutely.
number one fan the whole time, and I just want to
Okay.
plug a little.
We'll get that in there.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, boy.
All right. Here we go. Welcome back, everybody. Episode 4. We had the Big Bossman BBQ and his boss, the Big Boss Lady, in today.
Oh, man. Yep.
This place smells absolutely amazing.
It's different from normal.
Yes.
It smells awful.
Yeah, it usually smells awful. It smells like disappointment in here usually.
Oh man. Well, that's good.
So last weekend, the truck convoy.
Yes,
The truck big turnout.
big turnout. Somewhere between 57, 67 trucks for Dickie Baldwin. His memorial run. It was very cool. I actually went live on there. I wish we would have been able to go up and set up, but we had like 900 and some views on that.
Wow.
So, and a lot of different trucker pages shared it.
Oh, really?
People from all over. It started in Port Allegheny, come through here, and ended up in Richburg, New York.
And
Where they had a big party.
I don't know where that is. But
No, yeah, it's right up the road.
Okay.
Just a piece.
Okay.
So, did you, for anyone who wants to see that, did you share it to the Dinner and Drinks page?
I did.
Okay.
I did. Yeah, so they can go to Dinner and Drinks and check that out.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
Yep.
So, one regret I have is my dog's at the dog spa this weekend, and he loves trucks.
Yeah.
He'll sit out in the end of the street. Anytime a truck goes by, he'll just sit down and watch.
Yeah.
So, if I would have took him down there, that would have been his heaven.
He would have loved it. Yep.
Truck after truck.
Yep. Fun stuff.
How
Right.
many trucks did you say?
I believe it was like 67 trucks.
Was it a police escort or was it just kind of?
They had the sheriff's department was helping. I think there was different fire companies that helped shut intersections down. And
Right.
Oh yeah, because
they didn't stop for nothing.
That's
Yep.
Right,
a
yeah.
large convoy, but he must have been a popular guy.
He was very popular. He was a great man. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
How old was he?
58 years old. Yep. You never know. You never know when you're going to get called home, you know?
So Dickie was, you said a service tech for Bobcat, right?
No.
No, that was not him.
That was another friend of mine that passed away.
okay.
Yeah, Dickie was a truck driver, owner-operator.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he
Ross
owned-
Bixby was the service tech, another
Okay.
friend that passed away.
Man.
He owned the company. Yes.
Yeah, had his own truck.
Oh,
Had two
I
of
see.
them. Yeah.
I see.
His
I see.
girlfriend drove
Right.
one. And
It was a beautiful truck, too, right? I
yes.
saw some pictures of it.
Yeah, actually, the first truck in that video was his other truck, but they're
Oh.
identical.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay.
Same paint jobs.
Yeah.
Yep.
I saw someone posted a photo of it, I think, down at 7-Eleven a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
And, yeah, people were sharing it and loved it.
Yeah.
How clean and immaculate it was.
It was always clean. Yep. Always.
Nice.
Yep. Took good care of it.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad it was a good turnout.
Yeah.
Good representation of him.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah. It's a good man. Good send off.
yep.
You know?
Wish I would have known him.
Yeah. Right.
Sounds
Wish
like
you would've,
He sounds like
too.
a great guy.
Yeah,
I mean, He
right.
sounds like a good guy.
Right.
I could have learned something.
See. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, what else is going on? Any more dates?
No, I did. Well, today I did.
Yeah.
We went to Sprague's this morning.
Oh, me too.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah. Went down and got breakfast.
Oh, sure. I would have known that. I would have left the bill there for you. Yeah, we did that. And then I went to Pfeiffer's Nature Center up there in the top of Lily Bridge Road.
Yeah, I've been wanting to actually do that
Yeah.
trail.
I've lived in this town for 41 years. It's been there, I think, since 1998, I read. And maybe that's when they got the property. And today was my first time there.
Yeah.
I about died
Right.
walking up the hills.
I was just going to ask that.
You're right.
You said it was a trail?
It's a trail
It's a
through the
trail,
woods.
yeah.
Like on a side-by-side or?
No.
It's
You walked.
straight
The only thing that was side by side was me and her. She was holding me up, trying to be a man. I was like, no, we're good. She wasn't even winded,
Oh my God. But back
that's
to that
real trail.
Sprague's. I did try that before. We love going there. We tried that.
Yes.
What's that sandwich?
I love the pilgrim. Is
Yeah.
it the
Oh,
pilgrim?
the pilgrim.
turkey?
Yeah.
It's got the cranberry sauce and the
Yes,
turkey. Yeah.
Amazing, all that together.
Go
Yeah.
back,
So
yeah. 'Cause
yummy.
I just thought about that sandwich, and I love the owl. something.
Pops up and
the little woodpecker that
Freaks
pecks
me out
on
every
wood.
time.
Yeah, the ambiance there is awesome.
man.
It
It
really
is.
is. I heard, this is not official, but I did hear that they're going to add on to that place. Was their plans before COVID anyway?
Okay.
Like another 100 seats possibly,
wow.
maybe?
Well, they need it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
they're
tell you,
always
they have a
busy.
heck of a business
Oh
there.
yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Oh,
yeah.
Yep.
We went into the teepee. There was
Oh,
an Indian
yeah, how
teepee,
you go up
and
into
they
the
were
woods
making
with
maple
the-
syrup in the back when
Yeah.
we first visited that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like a maple
You can go
tour
to
or
a sugar mill
something.
back there, I think. There's
Yeah,
something
the
back
maple, the maple
maple-
tour. Yeah, for the
So-
how they make the syrup and
Okay.
stuff.
I was
Yeah.
very fascinated with
Yeah.
that. Like a kid.
I'd
you
have
know,
to check that out. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
That's something else I've never done
Yeah.
around here.
Their following is unreal.
Mm-hmm.
We do the T-shirt printing for them.
Oh,
And
okay.
Oh.
They'd sell shirts from everywhere.
Oh, do
like
you
a-
send
just
them
like-
right out?
No, he just tells us
Okay.
like for all these people that come in, but from what he tells me, there's people from all over the country that it's like a tourist attraction when they come around here.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool.
Put Portville on the map, really.
Yeah. That's all
You
we
know?
got.
That's all we got. Portville and Dinner and Drinks podcast. So
7-Eleven.
that's it. Yeah, it's 7-Eleven.
That restaurant, he has another farm, I'm told. Maybe there's a turkey farm
turkey
somewhere around
farm.
here.
They own the turkey farm.
Oh,
Before the restaurant, they had a turkey farm, and they also owned a ice company, which they
Oh.
do not anymore. I think it was Portville Ice, but that's over on Maple Street. The actual turkey. That's where the turkeys come from for the
Right.
restaurant.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
Fresh
I
turkey.
didn't know that.
Yeah. That's huge.
Sounds good. I can smoke that.
Yeah.
There you
Yes.
go. Yeah.
Smoke that
Smoked
turkey.
Smoke that
Yeah.
turkey. Yeah.
That's right.
Sounds
Yeah.
delicious.
Nice.
Yeah, nothing too much exciting for me over the weekend or
Mhm.
even the week, really. The only thing we did was we wrapped Audra's Jeep. Audra's my girlfriend,
Yeah.
for anyone who didn't watch the previous episode. Or at one point, ex-girlfriend when I slipped up.
Yeah. You got her back then.
Yeah,
So
she's
that's pretty
sweet.
big
That's
news.
good.
Yeah,
That's
I was able to keep her around.
Yeah.
It took a little bit.
It took a wrap, right? Listen, I'll wrap your car if you just come home. And it looks very good.
Yeah, it
does.
looks great.
Yeah.
It was our first time doing a color change.
Yep.
So it took us, there's 3 of us working on it. It took us 14 hours.
Yeah.
But it came out pretty sharp.
Nice.
I'm happy with
nice.
it.
Yep.
It looks
Pretty.
great, though.
It does look
I
good.
didn't
doesn't
even
it?
think you could do that.
Yeah. It's pretty
Right?
awesome.
Neither
yeah.
did he. It was his first one.
Nice. Yeah.
It looks
It's nice. I like it.
Yeah.
very nice.
Yeah. When I went to do the hood, I just had like a pucker factor. I was like, oh, what did I get into?
Yep. Yep.
Pucker.
Is that expensive?
It can be, yeah.
It can be. That's a
For something like
that's-
that.
yeah,
I mean,
that's
there's
yeah.
cheaper alternative options, but yeah, something like that. If to charge outright for it, it's usually like $3-4 grand.
yeah, and it's
Yeah.
worth it. I mean,
No, there's a lot of
Yeah.
labor.
I
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
I think that's worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, if I ever wanted to do a color change on my vehicle,
Mhm.
that would be something I'd first consider.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
cheaper than like a paint job.
Exactly.
So,
So, yeah.
and if you wanted to peel it off, go back to your original.
Original color.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's almost like a phone case in a sense.
Yeah. Right. When he asked, "Is that expensive?" I thought he meant the girlfriend. Yeah, not the car wrap.
There's a pretty hefty bill on that one too.
Well, no comment. No comment.
You're right.
Funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, as you mentioned, we got the Bossman BBQ crew here.
Yes.
Want to tell us a little bit about yourself? How you got started? Where you came from?
Wow.
Where do we
It's
start?
a loaded question.
Yeah, it's a lot. There you go.
That sounds very nice.
Very angelic.
Oh wow. I probably ran from this business before I ever even embraced it. I didn't want anything to do with it. I was
Yeah.
a young kid doing what kids do, teenager.
Yeah.
Wanting to hang out with my friends and go to skate land and I don't know, movies, you know.
Yeah.
I got started when I was about 13, 14 years old. My mom and my dad started the business.
Mm-hmm.
My mom, who is from Fort Valley, Georgia, was born and raised on a plantation. And she would tell me these stories about these annual barbecues or pig roast that they would have on the plantation. And every year, my family, my grandmother and my mom was charged with cooking about 15 hogs. And they would line these hogs up in the ground and make these pits and cook all these hogs. And they would, after cooking the hogs, they would take the skin of the hogs, refry it, and sell it as crackling. And this was a way for them to make extra money.
What is crackling?
Crackling is pig skin.
So we're talking pork rinds.
Pork rinds.
Yeah, that's where it started, huh?
That's where it started.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So there were many nights that my mom would cook sheep pans of cornbread. And by the way, I jump a little bit, but I got 18 brothers and sisters.
Wow. Have mercy.
Yeah, I'm the baby of the family.
Uh-huh.
Half of my brothers, I don't know where they are, and I don't remember their names or my siblings, but I remember most of them, but
Yeah.
it's a lot of us. But anyway, my mom and my dad down in Georgia would have these annual barbecues for the plantation people there.
Sure.
And I believe that's where the seeds of her passion for barbecue was sowed, and that's where it began to grow. And hearing my mom tell me these stories, my mom, every year, our family would have a family reunion, and my mom and my dad would cook barbecue. That was our main thing.
Yeah.
And so in wanting to kind of like stay close to my mom, I started to listen to some of the stories she was telling me. And then she would say, baby, taste this, or baby, taste that. And I think she was grooming me at the time to kind of distinctly tell what what was missing and what was not. And she would quiz me.
Yeah.
So tell me, what does that need? Or tell me what's missing out of that. And I would hit it on the nail every time. So I think that's where she kind of picked up like, maybe.
Yeah.
So long story short, she and my dad bought a house. I was born in Medina. We moved to Lockport when I was, like I said, about 13, 14. My mom and my dad, in buying the house, they wanted to raise some extra money to pay the house off quicker. Mm-hmm. So they ended up opening up a restaurant together called Big Bossman BBQ.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
That's where the name came
Yeah.
from. My dad had went and got this mechanical cowboy. Now, mind you, we're on the street where it's a small street, probably 10 houses, and there's a big mechanical cowboy
You can't miss that,
in
can you?
front of the house, twisting like this.
That sounds terrifying.
Lit up like a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
And so my mom and my dad rented out of the house for a little while. My dad, he got sick. He actually had a stroke. And the restaurant was too much for my mom to handle, ended up closing. And I was, at that time, fast forward a little bit, I was in college.
Okay.
So around 96, my mother, she decided, and my mother would come up with all these ideas and just spring them on you.
Yeah.
And expect for you to make them come true. That's a fact. So one day she comes to me, she said, and when I talk, I have to talk in some of the voices that my mom would.
Sure.
She says, baby, she says, I got this permit. She says, I got this peddler's permit. She said, and I'm going to go down to the Orleans County Fair and it'll make me some extra money. And I was like, Mom, well, how you going to do that? She says, well, I bought me a canopy. I got a grill. She says, I got a couple coolers and a refrigerator. She says, and I'm going to go down here and I'm going to sell some ribs. Now, this is prior to the sauce. This is prior to the sauce.
Yeah.
So lo and behold, I said, well, how did you get in there? She said, well, I bought me some space. Mom had did all this. We didn't even know.
Yeah.
So at that time, it was just me, my mom, my sister, my baby sister, and my older sister. We at the fair. When we get to the fair, we look over, and there's this pavilion that seated around 250 to 300 people, huge pavilion.
Yeah.
And next to us, which we know them very well, I don't know if you ever heard of, they're called Chevettas.
Oh, absolutely. My son lives off
Okay.
Chevette. Chevetta's on everything in my house.
Chevettas
Even his French fries.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And he's, in Lockport, well, up in that area, he's well known for.
Absolutely.
Does a lot of church and a lot of nonprofit fundraising things. But we're at this Orleans County Fair. It's about 250 people in this big. They're serving chicken dinners out of this big pavilion. We are sitting there, like the little engine who could. And so we're sitting there and we're looking at my mom like, okay, now what? She says, well, just hold on. She says, what's good for you, God gonna make sure God gonna make a way. So my mom was very, very into the church, had a strong faith. And she said, well, God gonna, he didn't bring me this far to turn me back now. And we're sitting there like, my mama done going crazy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but you just
You
went
didn't
with
say
it.
that, no, did you?
No. You kept your thought. You thought it, but you better not speak it.
Yeah.
But we're sitting there. All of a sudden, we hear the announcer come on. The PA says, last chicken dinners. Last 10 chicken dinners. 10 chicken dinners, folks. Hurry up until they're gone. Hurry up before they're gone until sold out.
Yeah.
There's probably 60 to 70 people still in the line. And we're sitting there in our line, birds are chirping.
Yes.
So, nobody, so we're standing there. So all of a sudden he's
Nice.
yeah, that's what it sounded
That's
like.
what it was.
That's what it sounded like. Yes, yep, that's what it sounded like. Brings back memories. So we're sitting there and we're like, and all of a sudden he says, last one, folks, that's it. Everybody just turns and just looks at us. They just turn around and look at us. Shifted into our line. My mom looked at me and something extra kicked in my mom I didn't know she had.
Yeah.
She says, okay. She says, she looked at me. She says, hold the line. I said, hold the line? She said, you better hold the line. And I mean, you better cook like you never cooked before.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, it's showtime now.
Yeah.
So she told my baby sister, she was like, okay, nanny. She called her nanny. She says, you get on the front of the line, you collect the money, and I want you to make sure every tray you look at, the presentation and the food orders were correct. So that was her duty. And my sister Geraldine duty was to grab the trays and make sure that me and my mom were able to fill them. She was like the gutter rat. Long story. But anyway, so we're feeding all these people, and halfway in between serving these people, we run out of sauce. This is prior to the famous sauce. Sure. Prior to my mom had been using store-bought sauce. Yeah. Her and my dad even in the restaurant. They were just using store-bought sauce.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden my mom looked at me, she says, I need you to take this list. And she says, I want you to go to the store. And she says, you better not come back with one less ingredient. I'm going to skin you alive. Oh my God, I'm sweating bullets.
Yeah.
So she gives me a list, which I can't say on air.
Right. Don't do that.
It's 21 ingredients.
Wow.
Yeah.
21 ingredients. So I run to the store, and at the time it was Medina because we were in Orleans County Fair. I run the Super Duper. There's a Super Duper there.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I get the Super Duper. I'm running up and down the aisles, asking the manager where all these things are. So finally, I get the last ingredients. I haul my tail back to the fairgrounds. But we had all these people were just getting restless. They were, and a lot of complaining, obviously, because we were shut down temporarily. And so my mom was like, she says, turn your back. Don't let anybody see me. Turn your back. Don't let anybody see you. Okay. So I turn my back, and I'm trying to shield my mom. She's still out there in broad daylight. I don't know how much shield I could provide. But so I'm hearing all this commotion. Next thing I knew, she emerges with this pot of sauce. Unbeknown to us, it was a sauce recipe, a slave recipe, basically. From way back when, that she remembered, because just going back a little bit, when my mom was 7, my mom had 12 brothers and sisters. And even in those days, just like when the time I grew up, the more children you had, the more prosperous the family was. Sure. So it was not uncommon for you to have a large family, because I was born and raised on a farm. My mom and my dad worked. They were basically my family. You could say my grandmother or my great-great-grandmother, sharecroppers. So the more kids you had working, the more they were able to provide for the family's needs. Yeah. So my mom, at 7 years old, my grandmother charged her with cooking for her brother and sisters when they came out of the field. And when she started cooking off of a wooden stove. This was a stove. They called a wooden stove, but you would have to stoke the fire to get it even enough to make sure that you weren't burning or that the temperature wasn't too hot. And she looked at her, and this is a story my mom tells me, is that she says, if you burn one biscuit, she said this is what her mom told her. She said, if you burn one biscuit, I'm going to tear you up.
Yeah.
And so she never burnt anything. She learned at that early age. Wow. So where was I? It's so much.
So she made the sauce.
So the sauce was something that my grandmother had her make during the annual barbecues when they were doing the pig roast.
Right.
Okay? And she just never, it was just something that got lost.
Okay.
And on this fairground, when she made this sauce, we were doing well, but we exploded. Mm-hmm. It just seemed like we went through the roof.
Yeah.
I was on the grill and I'm cooking and I'm flipping, I'm cooking. And she's telling me, she says, dip the rib in the sauce, charbroil it on the grill. So we had intense heat on one half of the grill, medium to low heat on the other half. So I'm cutting the ribs, dipping the sauce and throwing them onto the other high heat part of the grill, which was charbroil or char grilling the ribs. Okay. I don't know if you ever had, there was a famous chicken wing place out of Buffalo, and they char grilled their wings.
I know what that is too.
Oh my, Lenova's.
Okay,
and they char grill. Yeah. Okay. So in that same concept, we were char grilling and caramelizing the sauce onto the ribs, but blackening them just enough that it made them different than just a regular rib.
Okay, all right.
And added with the sauce, that old recipe, it just went through the roof.
Yeah.
From that day, at the end, we get home, we're looking at our mother. We're on there, everybody's silent.
Yeah.
No one's talking. We're just looking at her. And I said, I got the courage. I said, Mom, I said, where did you get that sauce? Or where did you learn that? Yeah. And that's when she told me the story. Mm-hmm. She was never known. My mother's real name is Sarah J. Person. She was never known by her first name from that day forward.
Yeah.
We put names in a hat. We put names in a hat. Yep. And we were trying to come up with a name because my mom was calling herself Person to Person 3-Generation Homestyle Barbecue. She didn't. That's the name.
Long name.
Yeah.
Long name.
Yes.
That'd be a long T-shirt.
Yeah, it wouldn't fit on this one. And that's what she was calling herself. And I was like, I put my name in, and it just so happened my take of the name I thought she should have was Mrs. Ribs. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Because, and they asked to this day, people ask me why. I thought because my mom was married to her food. My mom was married to her food. That was what I thought of.
That's very smart marketing.
Thank you.
I like that.
So fate has it. They picked my name out of the hat, opens it up, and Mrs. Ribs. Wow. So Mrs. Ribs, a.k.a. Sarah J. Person, is where I got the talent from. My mom got the talent from her mom, who's got it from my great grandmother, who was a sharecropper, basically. I know.
Wow.
Long story. I know there's much more to that story, but
that's so awesome.
I try to tell it in the quickest way I possibly can. Wow. But yeah,
that's pretty crazy.
It's neat because you think, when people are in line to go get food at his trailer, they don't realize they're actually eating history.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like there is something behind everything that's being put on there. There's a love.
Absolutely.
There was raising a family.
Oh, yeah.
You got to make this work for we can get by.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just some sauce slathered on some meat.
No.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just want to add I want to add something to that. I remember, like I said earlier, when I said I ran from this business.
Yeah.
I didn't want anything to do with it. Mm-hmm. I'm in college. I graduated college as a teacher.
Yeah.
I spent a little time overseas. And I remember coming back and struggling, trying to find a job. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting there in my mom's kitchen, and I'm just gloom and doom. Oh, woe is me.
Yeah.
She looks at me. She says, "Well," she says, "I'm going to tell you like this." She said, "You can work a 9-to-5 job." She says, "Or if you really want to learn, and I mean if you really serious," she says, "I'll teach you how to be your own boss. I'll teach you.
And how old were you
You,
doing that?
I was about 24, 25. I was at that time. I was in college. Yeah, I was about early 30s.
Okay.
And she says to me, she says, baby, she says, this business might not make you rich. She says, but one thing for sure, it'll damn sure pay the bills.
Yeah.
That's what she
Awesome.
said to me. She was like, now, if you want to go and work 9 to 5, go ahead. She said, but I'll teach you to be your own boss. She says, but what I teach you, you take to your grave.
Yeah. So does it end with you?
Yes.
None of the other 17
None.
siblings.
I'm the only one.
You're the only one.
I'm the only one.
Do you have any
And-
children?
I do.
Yeah.
I try every now and then. I get a little choked up. I try to,
Absolutely,
when I
man.
was home,
Yeah.
I said to myself, I'm gonna hold. But yeah, my mother legacy dies with me.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well,
Don't be sorry. That's an awesome thing, man. I'm glad you're here to share that with us.
Sorry.
That's awesome.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's awesome.
So she told me, she says, what I teach you, I'm going to teach you to be the best. She says, I don't want you to brag or boast. She says, I don't want you to be cocky.
yeah.
She says, I want you to humble yourself.
That's
She says, but she says, in the day you chase money, let it go.
Boy, what a smart woman.
Yeah.
She was.
Amazing.
Wow.
She was like, the day you let it go.
Yeah.
She said, I'm going to teach you this business for you to help the world. And she used to feed the homeless.
Wow.
So she used to make me take plates, to the homeless man that lived down the street from us under the bridge.
Yeah.
And I just, for some reason, hearing the stories of what her childhood was like this, in the Jim Crow South,
Yeah.
because that's the time she came up.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And she'd tell me these stories that were just fascinating. I couldn't take my eyes off my mother.
Yeah.
She became my superhero
Yeah.
because it was just, she said, what I teach you, you take to your grave. What I teach you is going to be one of a kind, but I want you to humble. I don't want you to brag. I don't want you to boast. I want you to use it to be, to contribute to the world.
Yeah.
I want you to feed those who can't help themselves. I don't want you to chase money. But I also want you to be able to live,
Yeah, absolutely.
but give back.
Yeah.
Don't always take. And that's all I've always humbled myself.
Mhm.
I don't go around bragging about the talent I have. I just let my food speak for itself.
Yeah.
I just do what my mother taught me, and I hope that the people, which have been so wonderful, this town, this
Yeah.
area. I'm from Williamsville. I'm from Lockport. I've done a lot of shows, large and small, catering, big events, small events. And I can tell you by far, one, they eat a lot here.
Yeah. Something we like to do around here.
I didn't realize that
Yeah.
these people got some serious appetites here.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that they have been just, the reception, the support has been just absolutely wonderful. I just thank everybody who supported me, who continued to support me.
It's great.
And man, I tell you, and I'm just going to keep bringing the best brand of Bossman's BBQ derived from my mother as I possibly can.
Fantastic.
Wow.
Now, how long have you been serving this area?
Well,
It took us a minute to actually get going because when we moved down here, we didn't know for sure if it would take off or people would accept it.
Sure.
So we decided, he actually was like, well, I'm going to give it a whirl. And it just seemed to take off. We actually just,
we didn't think it'll work. We didn't think it'll
No.
work.
Yeah.
I've been in the corrections for a while. I was a teacher for a while. I got into because of my background as a teacher, I took the New York State Corrections exam, and they said, "Hey, we don't have a job in the state corrections with the adults right now, but if you are okay, we do have something." I didn't know it even existed. We have something in juvenile corrections. Well, what is juvenile corrections?
Yeah.
Well, there's 4 prisons in New York State that most people don't know about that houses juvenile violent criminals
Yeah.
that
Underage.
Yeah.
we held them from 11 to 18.
Okay.
Where, you know, obviously people don't look at and think of kids in prison suits or in a full
Right.
prison committing violent crimes. But when they do,
Yep.
where do they go?
Right.
They have to go somewhere. So we held them until they were age eligible to go into the regular dock system.
Gotcha.
So I got into that, and I dipped and dabbed into the food business, as I used to own 2 trucks.
Yep.
And that was still part-time. I never did it full-time. I just, for whatever reason, I don't think the opportunity ever presented itself, or because my kids were little. I mean, obviously, I want to make sure I support and take care of my family above any and all else before I pretty much,
Awesome.
pursued my dreams.
Yeah.
But I've always had that love for barbecue due to my mother. I cook for the family. Everybody wants me to cook. I'm tired of cooking sometimes.
Yeah, I'll be like, you're not cooking when we go to this barbecue.
Yeah,
I
you're going to
can't-
enjoy yourself.
He just gravitates towards
I
it.
go
He
to a
just
barbecue, family member barbecue. The first thing they see me come through the door, they look over, the grill's already ready.
They're waiting for
can't.
you.
He's waiting, yes.
You know?
Try to
Yes.
trick me. They trick me, and I do it every
He
time.
does.
I go
He'll be like,
right
I'm not
to the
cooking
grill.
this time.
I
I'm
go
not
right
doing
to
it.
the grill.
And sure enough, I see him slowly look over.
I can't help it.
And he,
It just draws me in.
Yeah.
But I love it. I love it. When you have a passion for something,
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like work.
Right.
When you have a passion, I have a passion for this skill set.
Yep.
I was blessed to receive. It's an art.
That's
and,
awesome.
And boy, but I didn't get it. It didn't come easy. I fought against it.
Yeah.
And slowly but surely, and don't get me wrong, I burnt a lot of things, but unlike my mother.
Yeah.
I burnt a lot of things before
Yeah.
I was able to hone my craft.
To figure it out.
Hey guys, Derek here. We've just partnered up with Carpies.com to offer some Big Boss Man merchandise. Head over, hit the shop tab, and check out some of the cool merch. Now back to the show.
Every time a family member sees me come through the door, it's just, they usually have the grill already going,
Yeah.
because they know that the grill is something that's draws me in every time. And I don't know, but it's a love-hate relationship. I can't help it. I'll go to the grill. Somehow I get there. I can be somewhere across the yard. I can be anywhere in the house, but somehow that grill calls my name. And slowly but surely, I end up on the grill.
Yep.
But I can't stop at one pack of meat.
no.
I got to cook all the meat in the fridge
Oh,
or freezer.
yes.
Feeding the neighbors and everybody else.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, boss lady, my wife, she just looks at me, shakes her head.
Yeah.
She does. She says, "I knew you were gonna. I
Yeah.
knew." I was like, "Well, what the?"
He can't help it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. He'll be talking before we go somewhere. Like, I swear I'm not going to cook nothing. I'm not going to get on that grill. And I'm like, okay. Well,
Yeah.
we'll
You know
see.
better, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just happens. He just can't.
I love it.
Yeah.
I hate it at the same time. But yeah, and then I want to kind of go back a little bit to right after the Orleans County Fair. Yeah, my mom made that sauce, and we're looking at her in the living room like, where'd that come from?
Yeah.
And she tells us a story. We picked the name out of the hat. And about 3 months later, my mom pulls up with a 24-foot, how big was this? 26-foot
huge.
Mack tool truck.
Yeah. Huge truck.
Yeah.
I'm like, Mom, what you gonna do with that? She said, well, baby, I'm gonna start me a food truck. I'm like, oh my goodness. I said, well, who gonna build it out? She said, you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll stop there because there's so much more to that.
Yeah.
And then from that point, yeah, I ended up building it out, and then Mrs. Ribs really took off, and
Yeah.
that's another segment in itself. And
Fantastic.
yeah,
So you had brought in some food
yes,
for us to try, experiment with.
yes,
So their own sandwiches.
yes.
So
This is my favorite part of the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some goodies.
So
Yeah.
we'll bring that in, and we'll have you guys walk us through the proper way to build one.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
That
right.
sounds like a plan.
All right.
Awesome.
Cool.
Okay.
Hey guys, hope everyone enjoyed this week's episode with Bossman BBQ. Come back next week to see episode 2, where we get to try some of that delicious food. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next week.